Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, and once again we are back at it with another Q&A. So let's get started, shall we? At Discolius, as if we're surprised who's asking the questions. At Discolius asks, if you could book matches of wrestlers in their primes from any and all generations, what would you book? Well, let's see. I would book Bret the Hitman Hart, versus Daniel Bryan in the submission match. A lot of people like to say Kurt Angle, but I want to be at least a little different on at least one match. So I would want Daniel Bryan instead. Let's see. What other matches would I book? Well, there would also be like your standard, say Big Show versus Andre the Giant would be one that would be cool to see. Maybe CM Punk versus Stone Cold Steve Austin is one that I would want to see. On the completely silly side of it, maybe Doink the Clown versus Santino Marella. Psycho Sid versus Sin Cara. Oh, that would be a botch fest in and of itself. Oh, that would be hilarious. Sin Cara versus Psycho Sid. The stipulation for that match: loser has to take advice from John Laurinaitis. Ah, my leg! Oh. But there would be like so many potential matches because you're taking like all the generations as opposed to just like one or two, so yeah. Oh, there you go. At Discolius asks, where do you shop for clothing? Pretty much anywhere. Sears, Walmart. That's where I would go for my like shirts and pants and all that. But when it comes to my jackets, I generally go to Mark's Work Warehouse. But yeah, I generally shop all over. Will you give me a serious answer to what you want for Christmas? I do want the winning lottery numbers. What part of I want easy millions do you not get? And I also want one of those minions from Despicable Me. So the fact that you cannot take that seriously just shows me what you think of me. Why don't you cut your hair? Let's see. because I really don't have a lot of hair left to cut, so why am I going to cut my hair when I have that little left? What's that photo of you and short sleeve Samson photoshopped? I should punch you in the face for that. It was not photoshopped. I will insert it right here so that you can see the photo he's talking about. So there you go. Yeah, short sleeve Samson was doing his retirement tour, so yeah, at the end of the show I got to have a picture. I took a picture with him, so there we go. And it's not photoshopped. What's your favorite chocolate bar? I'm a sucker for a lot of things caramel, so depending on the day, it'll be like Twix or Mars or Caramilk. I'd probably lean more towards Twix on most days, but yeah. I'm one of those guys where I love caramel, so there you go. If you had the time and money, what kind of traveling would you do? I would want to see all the Canadian capitals, actually. Because we had, visit all 10 provinces and the 3 territories. Visit all the capitals and the Canadian capital. Of course, I would have to take my video camera with me and see if there was any way that I could shoot various videos in each province. Who knows? How much footage would I get from that? Just make legs of my trip as this remix video and then that remix video. So yeah, that's what I would do, and depending on how it went, maybe I would work on doing the States afterwards. Again, this is if I had the time and the money to do that. So yeah, that's what I would do. Favorite restaurant food, barring where you work. Okay, I work at a Boston Pizza, so we have to bar that. I do enjoy the Cactus Club. Their Cajun chicken fajitas is probably the first thing that really comes to mind for restaurant foods that I enjoy. And finally, what was the Canucks' 3 best trades? Well, I would obviously be remiss if I did not mention the Marcus Naslund Alex Stoyanov trade. That one obviously went so well for the Canucks and not so much for Pittsburgh. I think most Canucks fans in maybe 10 or 20 years are going to have to look at the Roberto Luongo trade, which I will go a little bit deeper into when I mention the third trade that I think should be mentioned in amongst the best Canucks trades of all time. The Trevor Linden trade from 1998. As unpopular as that trade was, if you think about what the Canucks got out of it, we are still today feeling the effects of it. Because when the Canucks traded Trevor Linden to the New York Islanders, they got back three players. a third-round draft pick who turned out to be Jarkko Ruutu. And that's the only one that did not. That once he left, that was it for that end of it. But there were two other guys. Brian McCabe, who was a Canucks for a couple years, and then he was involved in all the trades that got the Canucks the Sedin twins. So like anyone who remembers Brian Burke's wheelings and dealings at the '99 draft, he traded around a bunch of draft picks and Brian McCabe to get the second and third picks so that he could draft the Sedin twins. And it seems to me that those two guys went on to win Art Ross trophies for the Canucks, so it's hard to argue with that. And then the third guy that the Canucks got in the Linden trade was this guy by the name of Todd Bertuzzi, who spent his best years in Vancouver and was pretty much like a point-per-game player for at least a few years. Part of the most dominant line of his time, the West Coast Express, with Brendan Morrison and Marcus Naslund. And before his value went down too far, Bertuzzi was traded to the Florida Panthers for some guy named Roberto Luongo. And that was like a perfectly timed trade for the Canucks, because after that, Bertuzzi had a bunch of injury problems. And he's not the player he once was. So, and here's Luongo, who's, as much of the wrath that he gets from Vancouver fans, he's at least a bit better than he gets credit for around here. So, yeah, I'd have to say that the Trevor Linden trade was a lot better than people give it credit for. So, yeah. Let's see. And that's it. So, what I'm going to ask now is, next Q&A, I would like to do a themed one. Actually, I'd like to do a couple of themed Q&As just to see how it would work. But I'm going to go based on the next one. So, I want Chrono Trigger questions. Because I've done so many Chrono Trigger remix videos, why not do a Chrono Trigger Q&A? So you can ask me questions on Twitter. I am at Naboxid, just like my YouTube username. You can also ask me questions on Facebook, like my page Naboxid. And you can even ask your questions down below. So I hope you like this video, subscribe to my channel, like me on Facebook, follow me on Twitter, and see you next time, ladies and gentlemen. See you next time.